Welcome in the sewing room, everybody. I'm so glad y'all are here and you've joined me in my little sewing space up here in the attic. Y'all, it's getting fall. It really is kind of getting fallish out there. It's been a little dreary today. It's not been rainy. It's just been kind of cloudy and overcast. And it's just one of those days. It's hard to get up and get going when it's kind of like that. Or at least I find it that way. I showed y'all this the other day and I said, can y'all guess what this is and what we're going to do with it? Well, I'm going to show you. So y'all just hang on, and we're going to not finish this one because this was kind of my concept. But we're going to get going here and make this cute little, I'm not saying, you have to wait till the end. All right. This thing measures about 2 inches by 2 inches. Just about 2 inches square. And it's just cute as it can be, but it needs some help. Definitely needs some help. Okay. I've got all these pretty fabrics laid out here. Turn y'all down so you can see all these pretty fabrics. I don't know why my camera's kind of like wonky today. I can't get things where I want it. All right, got all these pretty fabrics laid out here. See all these pretty fabrics? Some darks and some lighters. They all look real pretty together, I think. I don't know what they are. I don't know who made them. I don't know the names of them. I know nothing other than they are my 5-inch charm pack pieces that I just keep all stacked up together. I do not know. That's all I know because I just keep them all over here in the drawer. And when I need to do a little project, I go and see if I've got something in there I can use. And I love these little charm packs because they're just so handy to have for little things. All right, so first off, we need to, I'm going to line that stack up about 4. How many have I got? 6. I think I've got 12. So I'm going to try to cut 6 at a go here. And I'm just kind of tapping them down like you would a piece of paper to get them all nice and even. All right? Y'all with me? Now then, where's my big fat? Here's my ruler. It's right over here. Here is this ruler. And this is a strip ruler. Strip piece ruler. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. Let's see if I can get a piece of paper up here behind it. You'll see that better. Yeah, you can see better now. All right, do you see this? And each one of these is a little slit for your rotary cutter blade to go through. You can put it right here, and then it'll cut right down through there. And you can just cut multiple strips in whatever size you need without having to move your ruler or move your fabric. It's just wonderful if you're cutting strips. It really is. This one's 12 by 12. And I want to cut 1-inch strips, and these little things are in here every ½ an inch, okay? So I want to cut every other one, okay? I'm going to lay that on the edge, and I'm going to get my rotary cutter right here on this big one. I'll use my 60 millimeter rotary cutter because I'm cutting through 6 layers here, okay? You want to make sure you've got them all lined up here. I'm going to lay that right there on the edge. And I'm going to come right over here. I'm going to have to scoot it up. And I'm going to skip one and do that one. Cut there. Don't cut there. Cut here. We'll cut one more. Okay, so I cut there, and I cut here on the 10. I think. Okay, that should have me 3 little sets of 1-inch strips. How easy peasy is that, you all? It's wonderful. Now let's line these up, do them the same way. Y'all can use this with Christmas fabrics. I just did not have Christmas fabrics in small prints. kind of wanted this to be a Christmas idea, but I'm making it out of regular fabric because I don't have any little tiny Christmas prints, or not very many, and not enough. And you could do it out of solids. You just use your imagination. All right, use your imagination. All right, so here we go. We're going to do the same thing with this one, and we're going to cut on the 12 and the 11 and the 10. All right, now then I'm going to lay this right down here and lay those over. All right, now here are all of our little strips. All right. All right, so here we go. Here's what we got. And I'm just going to kind of stack these up. If I can get them apart now, y'all, they're stuck together. We're just going to kind of sort them out here just a little bit so we can kind of see what kind of order we might want them in. Probably should have put them in an order before. I cut them, but you know me, I didn't do that. I didn't. So this is what we got. We don't want all of our yellows or all of our pinks together. We don't want all of our darks together and all of our lights together. So, we got to sort them out here. So you should have 3 of each one. And 3 times 12 is what? 36. Is that right? So we got 36 little 5-inch by 1-inch strips. And I think that will be plenty to make this cute little project with. I'm not giving it a name yet because I'm going to let y'all figure out what it is as we go. All right. Okie doke. Here we go. We've got all of our little strips. Now then, what we're going to do is we're going to sew them together. And we're going to sew them together in, let's see, groups of 6. Okay? Groups of 6. We're going to sew them together. Okay? And it does not matter what you use. Okay? I'm just going to kind of mix them up and hope for the best, because that's just the way I do things. I'm going to meet y'all over here at the machine, and we're going to sew them up. Okay? Okay, so I've only got 11, so I've got 33 strips, which is still plenty. So we're just going to start sewing. I just kind of laid them out here. We're just going to start sewing them together, just like this. Make your side seams or your sides even and straight. And you want to sew these right here with a 1/4-inch seam. All right, now we're going to press them. We're going to press every one of them, and we're going to starch them very well. And I use this heavy spray starch. Love the way it smells. And it gets them good and stiff. See? And that's what you want. You want all those pressed. Lovely. I'll bring y'all down here. Now then, we've got to cut them again. Here they are. And as careful as I was to cut them all the same size and sew them all with a very even 1/4-inch seam, I want you to look at the difference in them. They're different. This one is close. This one is somewhat close. This one is way off, and I don't know how or why or whatever, but it's way off. But all that being said, it'll be fine because we're going to cut these again. And this time I'm just going to use this ruler. I'm going to use my smaller one. Where is it? It's laying here. Oh, here it is. This time I'm going to use this ruler, and I'm going to cut them an inch. Okay, we're going to cut them an inch again, right up through here. 1 inch. So we have these little strips just like this. And I'm doing them with this because it is just a little bit easier because they're not all even on the edges, and I want to make sure they're all cut straight. Now this one, I cannot get an inch up here all the way across. So I'm just going to toss that out. All right. So let's see if I can line them up here and cut them. Well, we got all these pieces. Now then, as you all can probably guess, we're going to sew these together. But where's my little example? It's right here. As you can see, mine did not line up pretty. They lined up pretty this way, but these seams where this is so, these little squares end up being so tiny. You can see I've got some of them, lined up, and others did not. So we're going to lay ours like this, off center. Okay? As a matter of fact, we're going to have to sew these together like this first, because I should have sewn see, this one right here might line up, but it might not. So we're going to sew them off-centered. And we're going to have to sew some of them together. That's okay. We can do that. Let's go over here. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. All right. Here we go. And we just want to lay them off-centered. Let's see, when I lay this one off-center, that's going to line that up. See? So you have to come in here and kind of see where you've got it going and lay it that direction. Okay? You're just going to start sewing them. All right, now then we're going to square these up. And I've got cutting mats over here, so I'm just going to use them. And I'm just going to square up each one of these on the edges, just like this. You're going to embrace the wonkiness of this, okay? Because when you're working with pieces that are this tiny, they are not easy to work with, okay? They are not. And to get them all straight, it's not an easy task. And if you can do that, more power to you, because I cannot. That is not something that I am very good at. And so I make mine not match and not be perfect on purpose. And that way, it's exactly the way it's supposed to be. Imperfect. And then we're going to sew some more of these back together. You're just cutting up and sewing together. That's what you're doing here, okay? I've made too many, which is okay, because I'll use them somewhere, sometime. You know me, I'll figure out something to do with it. Okay, now then, let's see what we've got here. We've got this one that's about the same width. These are the same width. And these I've got one extra larger one. Okay. So we're going to sew these together, right like this. Right down through here, and then we're going to press them again. Sew and press, and sew and press, and sew and cut. Embrace the wonkiness. Embrace imperfection, because this is anything but perfection, but when we're done, it will be perfect. Okay, and this you can also use little, you can't even see what I'm doing. You all can also use tiny little pieces of scraps, because look how little and tiny this is. This would be good to crazy quilt. It would. Now then, look at that. Isn't that cute? How cute that is. All right, let's go press it so we can get it finished up here. Like I said, embrace the wonky, because this is completely wonky, but it is going to be so completely adorable when it's finished. Okay, now then, let me get us something to line it with, and I'll be right back. All right, now then, I'm going to cut this off and square this up right here. We're going to make it 4 by 6.5, okay? 4 by 6.5. Okay, it's 4 inches this way. It's 6.5 inches this way. Okay, 4 by 6.5. Now then, we're going to turn this right like this. Oh, my nose is itching off. And we're going to sew these two together, because I need it to be 4 by 6.5, and it won't be, because that's just 5. All right, now then, we're going to cut this 4 by 6.5. I'm just going to finger press that so I can get my 4 inches here. Hang on to that for something else in a minute. That's an inch strip. And this we shall cut 6.5. Actually, I'm going to cut it a little bit longer, because I'm thinking in my head. Yes. So I need to cut it just a little bit more. So if I come over there 1/2 inch, I'm going to cut it a whole inch. 4 by 7.5. Okay. This is 4 by 7.5. This is 4 by 6.5. Okay. And this is what we're going to turn under and turn under to finish off our top. Yes, we are. We're lining our cute little purse. It's a little purse. Yes, it is. I told you. I did. I told you. And actually, if you don't want to make it this big, you can cut yours down. But first, you're going to sew down through here. Okay? Or do we want to do this first? Let's sew this across this top. We're going to have this wonky too, because I don't have it the same color on both ends. That's okay. That's just fine. We like wonky. If you want yours to match, you have to put the same fabric both ends. Okay, make sure they're pretty sides together and stitch them 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to flip this over because it'll feed better with the seams down. Now then, y'all, I'm winging this because my other one I didn't completely finish out. All right, see that? See how that is? We're going to go press this. But that finishes this top edge. Isn't that pretty? Yes, it is. All right, now, for our handles, because we need some handles on our little purse, I'm going to cut 2 2-inch strips, 2 by 5. Okay. Now then, let's go over here and press this. Okay. You just want to press this down. Like I said, that'll come in and show. Give you just a little binding there, just like that. Isn't that pretty? There we go. Alrighty. These we're going to press into the middle. We're just going to make like a nice binding here. Sit to the middle. And to the middle. And then turn it over. Okay. Hope y'all can see. Y'all, the mic's still working. Y'all can still see me. Okay. Just like that. This is another great gift card holder for Christmas. Yes, it is. Takes a lot of work, but you can make it. And I'm going to make another one here in just a minute. Very quick, easy peasy, with just solid fabrics. So if you don't want to do all the work for the patchwork, you don't have to. This is very cute. It makes a nice little gift as well as a gift card holder. Okay? But it did take more work. But if you don't mind that, I say go for it. Okay, now then, I'm going to turn this like this. I'm going to turn this up here on the end. Okay, just a smidge on each end so that we don't have any raw edges. Okay, just like that on both ends. And then we're going to stitch all the way around. All right. Okay, I actually took this seam right here out because we're going to need some way to turn this in a minute. So I took it out. So I'm going to sew right up through here and right up through here. Okay, just on this part, just on our original patchwork piece. All right, now then, we need to box these corners. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this and lay it flat out just like that. Actually, I think I'll measure it for you all because it'll be easier. I'm going to come in here a half an inch. Okay, a half inch. Okay, I'm just going to take this ink pen right here. Over and up. Okay, let me grab some scissors. Great for things like this. Just cut and cut. Now then, to do this, you fold this right like this, and you stitch right across here. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, now then, we've got to turn this right side out, just like this. Oh, it's turning out so cute, you all. So cute. Turn this in. Actually, let's just go ahead and sew that back together. So I really do not think I'm going to have to box the corners on the inside because it's just so tiny. I think it'll be just fine. But you do need to leave an opening in the center of this. So you can turn it. Now then. And we might as well box the corners, hadn't we? Might as well, why not? So we're going to sew this together. And I know I've probably lost some of y'all in putting this together. And honestly, I think I've lost myself. Okay, now then, we've got to turn it right. Well, first let's box this corner. All right, now then. We got a little teeny tiny place here to turn this through. Little teeny tiny place to turn this through. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. It's really cute. Oh my goodness. Let's grab this right here to poke all of our corners and things out with. Look at this. Look how cute this is. Look at that. Look. Oh my goodness, you all, look how cute it is. All right, let's stitch these up here. All right, now then, to do our handles, you want to lay them right like this. Right like that. And you just want to stitch them to the top on the inside. Or you put them on the outside. That's up to you. I'm going to put these on the inside, I think. Just a little bit in from the edge. About one little block there from the edge. And then I'm going to keep stitching all the way around this. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add this next little handle. If I can. Right here. Just keep moving it and turning it as you go. And then as you get up through here, just pull your handle back around here, lay it down, and stitch it. Okay? Same thing with this one as you get around. And there it is. Look how cute that is. Got your two little handles. You can come in here and put a little snap on it if you want to. Now, this was the hard one. Let's make an easy one. Let me gather up our stuff and I'll be right back with you.